Homelessness is many components. It's not just not having a home. If you're a child, and yes, they need food and we provide food baskets, but just to have a bed, they're sleeping. I've had people where they're living in abandoned homes. The mother's been washing their clothes out with sprinklers. It could be many things. They're sleeping in their cars, sleeping in shopping carts, anything to put the babies in. We had a woman who had the back of her car filled with the blankets up here by the window, and her little baby was sleeping up there. One thing about Women's Development Center is we do not enable anybody. You are selected and you really have to work the programs. We've had people that knew it was going to be so tough that they denied being accepted because the requirements. You have to look for work if you're not working. If you're working a minimal job, you have to improve your skills. You have to partake in counseling and workshops and everything. These are mandated, these requirements. I think why I want the playground so badly is that I see the children, usually they flee with nothing more than the shoes and the clothes on their back, and so does the mother. For the kids to be able to go outside their door and be able to play because the mothers are fearful. Many of them do not want the abuser to know where they're at. They don't want to be seen at the park with other people. So that maintains their privacy by being right there. Plus, the mothers have so much to do that they can let their door be open and they can listen to their kids right there.
I met with Tina, the executive director of Women's Development Center, and I asked her what her wish list was. And one of the things was to build the rubber surface for children to play on in one of their courtyards where the women and children meet. She said that she always dreamt of having somewhere where the kids can play. There is a courtyard between two units. One's a housing unit, and the other is where they have the women come together and do therapy, and the children come and play and do birthdays. So they've been playing on a cement area that's in between those two units. So her wish was to have an area where it would be comfortable to play in whatever weather or condition. I told Tina that I'd bring the idea back to the committee, but I couldn't promise anything, but I would try my best to possibly get it done and use the resources that AGC has.
When Nadia brought this to the group in, I think, August, I volunteered to go and take pictures of the site so that we could kind of convey to people what it was that we were trying to do. When you drive there, first of all, it's right in the middle of these major cross streets. I mean, there's a lot of traffic going on, and it, in a word, if I were to describe it, it's hard. It's a very hard place. It's cement. It's very hot. There's not a lot of green. I grew up in a place where we had lots of room. We would make tree houses and we had fields to play in. Las Vegas doesn't have that. But what it does have in a lot of the developed areas is you've got these community parks, and every neighborhood kind of has one. And generally there's just some small play equipment, but it just gives a chance for the kids to get out and associate with other kids. They meet their friends there, and it's something unique, I think, to Vegas.
It's very difficult for women to go out. There are barriers such as transportation. If they have multiple children, it's very difficult to get on a bus and go down to a park with all of your children. If you have transportation, gas prices are very expensive, and a lot of these moms have to conserve their money for their bills, for their food, for everything that they need. When we go now and we have a cement courtyard, and it's nice, you see the children still attempting to play. They'll play the hopscotch games, they'll try to play, the Foursquare, they'll draw it out with their chalk, but having the actual equipment that they can use will be a big benefit. We have children right now that as they're playing, others are trying to ride their bikes or try to ride their skates. It's a little bit of a chaos at the moment because there is no structure. We also know that the first 6 years of life, from 1 to 6, are extremely important in brain development. And the skills that children get while playing in the playground goes beyond just playing. They develop social skills, the interaction, their cognitive skills improve. They learn how to play and interact with other people. They learn self-discipline by waiting in line to use the games. Being able, if you remember as a child when you finally were able to make it across the monkey bars and how proud you were of yourself, that develops confidence and self-esteem in the child. The benefits of having a playground go beyond just having a place to play. Child obesity rates have skyrocketed in the past 30 years. The average American child between the ages of 8 and 18 spends 7.5 hours per day watching television or video games.
When I first met with Tina, she gave me a tour of the units, and when I brought the idea to the committee, we had a couple of the committee members come and meet with Tina, and we got real personable about it and what her dreams and goals are for this, and wrote some notes down, and things are looking up, and hopefully we get this campaign going and see where we can run with this and hopefully make it a success through the community.
You know, there's a lot of questions right now. We don't know how much money we're going to raise or if we'll raise enough to do anything. You know, we obviously don't want these kids playing on cement that gets very hot. If you look at the space, you've got these two duplexes on the sides, and they actually face north and south. And so as the sun kind of comes across this way, I mean, it completely hits this space like all day long. So we're going to use some kind of, again, depending on how much money we raise, either kind of a rubber, softer play surface or maybe artificial turf or grass that's popular in this area. And then once we do that, obviously we need to have some kind of shade structure to keep the sun off of this. So that'll be kind of the next thing that we do. If the funds are there, then we'll just continue to add, you know, play panels, maybe some type of small slide structure. We'd like to be able to add a bench, you know, so that the mothers, as they're there with their kids, they can watch them and just kind of have that mother time where they can associate. But at that point where we know how much we have, we'll decide, you know, what kind of scope we can do. But definitely it's going to be the lowest price. We've said from the beginning that this is a situation where kids and families are in need. If you want to be a part of that, then please, you know, give us a number. We want to find contractors that are interested in giving back to the community, and you know, we've been fortunate that there's no shortage of those type of businesses. When Nadia first brought this to the group, there was some concern that AGC as an organization obviously is very charitable, and the contractors that are within that organization are very charitable, and we have a lot of existing commitments that need to be met, especially during this holiday season as we try and attack all these charitable causes that we've been affiliated with, some of them for a long time. And so they're expecting that, and we're happy to provide that. So one of the concerns right off is as you start to think about kind of the cost that's involved in improving this play area, we figured that we needed to come up with some other way to raise money. And we had heard of these, you know, online campaigns where you kind of just put up a website and basically, you know, give your friends and family and just any, you know, strangers an opportunity to contribute to this cause. It's a vehicle for people to donate, but the great thing about it is people can just donate $1. I mean, just any small amount. I mean, obviously, you know, people are welcome to donate more than that, but any small amount is accepted. If we can get 750 people to chip in $10, we're there. And anything that we raise through this, 100% of it will go directly to these kids and to improving this play area or the site first, and then anything obviously over what we can do there will go directly to the Women's Development Center. We really want to incentivize people to be as charitable as they can. We've come up with some perks. Basically, you know, anybody that donates a small amount, maybe $10, $12, $15, when it's all finished, we're going to send them an 8x10 photograph of the play area. We'll have the kids, you know, make a sign saying thank you. We've also talked about for people that want to donate significantly more, perhaps ordering a plaque and having their name on there. Obviously, because of the location and the sensitivity of this type of a living center, there is some discretion that needs to be used. We can't obviously tell people where this is located, but we'll definitely send a picture acknowledging that generous contribution.
Again, it doesn't take much. Everybody's very generous, and you hear on the news, a child falls down in a well, and the whole community comes together. Las Vegas isn't like that. We don't need some catastrophe or some crisis. We are always there, and we're there for each other. WDC could not go forward or keep our doors open if it wasn't for the community. It's not somebody that's a millionaire writing some huge check. It's all of us writing $5 or $1.
We have until the middle of November, and then this campaign will close. And the way that the campaign works is we have to hit that $7,500 mark before November 16th or on that date. Otherwise, it won't happen. But I'm confident as we send this around to our friends and neighbors and people in Las Vegas and people just anywhere that want to make a difference in these kids' lives, we can do that. We have this opportunity. It is all set up. All we have to do is raise the money and fund it, and it will happen. So I hope that people will do that.